Okay, hello everyone. This is for attacker, and in this video we will learn deployment stack using Kolla-ansible. So it will complete in approximately in 2 hours. Deploy it very fastly and very good new technology. Starting it first, the introduction of Kolla-ansible. Kolla-ansible is a deployment method and uh, OpenStack and it will use on the back end. It will be a deployment services on Docker container using Ansible playbooks. So I'm starting right now. I think it's enough introduction because we have to complete in uh, 2 hours. So I'm starting quickly. So I have made four machines with two interface. So one interface having public or internet facing, or the other one is internal. So the 50 series IPs are internal, and the 40 series IPs are external, or they have internet. So these are my four nodes. One is infra node, second is compute node, compute 2, and controller node. So this will be our OpenStack, and this will be deployment node. So infra node will be our deployment. This node we will fire some commands or execute some plans. Will execute some playbooks, and it will set on these three nodes. Backend as SAF for many. Let's start. So I'm starting from here. Find some recommendation. Interface 8 GB memory, 40 GB disk. So I these are my instances. I have 8 GB of RAM on controller and 2 CPU I think, and 4 GB of RAM and 2 CPU on both compute. And you need to have KVM on compute 1 and 2. You can check by hostname ctl hyphen status, hostname ctl status command. So and this is our infra node. You can take just 1 GB or 2 GB of RAM on this infra node because it's just for running some playbooks. And also you need to add some disk on storage nodes. So I'm taking these three as a storage node also. So I have given two hard disk to these three nodes, and we will use these hard disk for the SAF. So I'm just starting now. The first thing is you need to install EPL release and Python pip. So I'm installing it on and my infra node. So now I'm logging to my infra node. This is my gateway node. So I will log in through a gateway because this setup is on AWS, and when you choose to interface on AWS, you can't have public IP address. So my IP address of infra is 90. And let me check basic functionalities like internet is running and my IP address is. So we have IP address on both the interfaces. And this is for internal and this is for external. So now I'm starting because we are using. You can use both Ubuntu or CentOS, and they commands given on the web page for both. So I'm using Ubuntu. So I will use. I'm using Ubuntu 16.04. So I will use apt-get update, and that second one I will install, and I will pip install to pip will upgrade pip. And the next one is we need this these Python libraries to please make sure you install these libraries on all the nodes. So now I'm installing it on infra node only, but later I will install it on all the nodes. So don't worry, I will make it install on all other nodes. And the next one is I'm installing Ansible, and after that I need to update or up for Ansible using pip it, and it's giving me some error. So find this error. This is a known error for avoiding time issue. I am making some exception here. I'm installing Python uh, and I will upgrade Ansible using pip3. So no need to worry. So now we are upgrading Ansible using pip3. The next step is we need to specify host key checking false, pipeline true, and fork 100. So this is the host key checking is for the key exchange. When you do SSH, it requires yes or no. So it will disable that. So it need to, it is mandatory because otherwise your Kolla-ansible will not work. And these two are not mandatory. You can them about from Ansible configuration file, etc Ansible Ansible CFG. So I'm just changing these parameters. So the first one is host key checking. So this is commented. I am uncommenting it. And second one is pipeline, and third one is fork. So here it is. And we need to make it true. And the third one is that is here to specify it more. Um, So changes are done. Now I'm installing Kolla-ansible from pip. Okay, it's same error, so I'm using pip 3. The next one is after installation, you need to copy some important Kolla-ansible configuration file like global.yaml, password.yaml uh, to the etc Kolla directory, and also the multinode and the sync all-in-one file inventory to the current location. So I'm copying first one. The second thing is for Ubuntu, its location is USR local share. So it has been check here. It's USR local for Ubuntu and for share. And the second one is I'm copying inventory files, multinode and all-in-one. So I have copied multinode and now you can check these are the multinode and all-in-one file. So if you use all-in-one setup, you can use all-in-one file, and if you're making multi-node setup, then you will use multi-node file. So we will use multi-node file because we are having a multi-node setup. And the next one is this is for if you a developer is using it, you can use for development also. But we are not using for that, so I'm going forward. Here in the inventory file, we need to specify all the nodes and their username password. So I'm going here and please specify your internal IPs for inventory file because at a time your external IP will disconnect when OpenStack will map your external interface to the OVS. So that's not good thing if you have external IP there in the inventory file. So I'm opening it. So for the controller, you need to specify controller IP. So sorry, I'm just copying it. So I'm copying controller node IP here, but I think something that thing has been copied. So my IP is 90. I can also write a controller node IP and same for the network node. So also work as network node. You can specify if you have more nodes. Write on my own because it's in problem. So this is 31 50 90. And for compute, I'm specifying a compute node IP. So for the compute, we need to check IP is compute 132.94, 32 and 94. So I'm giving two compute, and don't have any monitoring node. You don't need, like they are the tools like Kibana and all. You don't require them. I'm just, and for the storage node, I'm giving both compute and controller node. So my copy paste is creating very much problem. I need to write it back. So this is 5090 for controller. I didn't insert in Vim. Silly mistakes. This is compute, and we have two compute node. So I will just edit these IPs. Sorry, I need to give it in external compute. And the next one is monitoring. I'm disabling it. And after that, storage. So our all three nodes have the disk, so we will use all three for the storage node. I will change these IP once I copy paste. So now I think I should change the IP. This is the deployment node. Leave it or comment it, because comment it will not and do an infra node, like when you destroy and remove your images from deployment node. Make sure if you have commented it. One is I'm changing IPs, so node, and these IPs are 32 and 94. So, and the third one is also we are using compute as storage node, 32 and 94, and also the controller is also the controller is also behaving like storage node. So we have all three in storage node, and two in compute, and one is controller and network node. I think all good. I'm just closing this file, and I just want to also environment variables here. So I need to specify some variable to SSH all these machines using. So this is a group. I'm using this group bare metal, and I'm specifying its variables here. So to give the variables, you can visit on on a web page like multinode or multinode deployment of Kolla, and then that's here. So you can find some environment variable here. So you need to specify SSH user. So mine is Ubuntu because I'm using Ubuntu. If you are using root, and then you don't worry, you don't need to specify key. But we are on AWS and we are using key based authentication, so we need to specify Ansible private key file. So I will also specify the private key file. And the third one is for sudo, so it should use root. So we need to specify Ansible become true, so it will run commands as a root by using sudo automatically. So I'm just specifying my path for root key Kolla.pam. These were the variables login. These variables will be used on all the nodes automatically, and I think it should work now. So let me first check. Do we have key here? We don't have key here. So I'm just saving a key. So this is my private key. So using Kolla.m, and so my key is, and I'm also giving it permission of, because it's good practice for SSH you require 600 or 400 permission. I'm trying to ping my nodes to Ansible. So Ansible all the nodes in multinode file, so the inventory file, and then I'm using ping module to check connectivity. So we can just ping one node, we can't ping other two nodes. So what would be the reason? We should do one thing. I'm making it from also from host key checking, no, from SSH file. So I think that would be the issue. No, that's not the issue because we have specified in Ansible. So it's not the issue. The issue is the other node doesn't have Python. So that I will install in that on the from here. I just forgot that step. So install the Python library to all the nodes. I'm installing it on. After that, it will work fine. Some little bit slow. So when So I have installed on one compute one, and now I will also do it same on compute two. So our compute two IP is 94, and I'm just so all the package has been installed on compute one, and now also on compute two. I'm just making watch CD, so the terminal will not go out, and now we can check, we can ping all the machines. So all the machines has been pinged out and connected. So I'm going further. The next thing is you need to generate passwords for the OpenStack services. So there is a command, Kolla-gen password. So it will generate the password. First, I can show you the file. So this is the file. You can see this is the empty file. Doesn't contain variable values or passwords. And after this command, it will generate some password, but yeah, it's giving some error. So I think I should try pip install Kolla-ansible. So there are some pip problem. This is a known problem. I don't know what this. I'm using pip 3. So you are using 9.1.1, however pip version 18. So yes, I am also upgrading pip 3. So it is installed, and the same problem now. But let me try to generate some password. Okay, so we got stuck with this problem, and we need to solve it out. So one could be mm, I don't have done any mistake till now. So I just want to verify our has been installed successfully. We create some little problem. So I think Kolla-ansible installed properly. We can't see any error in that. All requirement already up to date. So I don't find any error here. Let's try to install pip3, sorry, upgrade pip3 using pip3. Otherwise, I will continue to the next portion, and we will skip it for now. I will change it. Okay, so from pip import pip, let's bring error. So this is a known problem because I have seen this problem very much time, many times, and also tried to find out some solution for this error. But yes, we will find out a solution for that. For now, I'm skipping it, and I will tell you about this error later. So we need to first do the two things. I'm just skipping it, and now our next file is global.yaml. So this is the configuration file for Kolla-ansible. I'm just opening it, and this file have this line. You can just read this file and understand all the things. So these are the extra variables here given Ansible, and after that specify config strategy, that's copy all. It will always copy data from host to the container, and the next one is you can make it centos, ubuntu, whatever you have, and you can choose binary is better. It will take less time, and also can use latest openstack release. I'm giving it Queens because I have not checked Rocky yet. I think Rocky has been released just 2-3 days ago, so I'm not taking any risk with that. We will take the risk some other day. So the next one is custom config. This is a directory we will use for custom configuration, and this doesn't exist. We need to create this directory. The next one is VIP address. So if you are using multiple, then you need to specify unused IP here. Otherwise, if you are using single controller, then controller IP here. So controller IP here. That's 172.31.50 and 90. I think that would be 72. So that is 172. Next one is specify external VIP address. So all these variables will come from the Kolla internal VIP address by default if we don't specify anything. And after that, Docker registry. So we will create a private Docker registry, and then we will specify that private registry here. Uh, for now, I'm not changing it, so it will by default take from Docker Hub, and here it is. So you need to specify interface, internal network interface here, and other one is the external for the internet, which contain internet. You need to specify it here. So, but there is an exception. It will only work if you have same interface name on all the nodes. Otherwise, you have to specify using environment using variables in Ansible inventory file. So it is saying for the network interface, all the other interface value has been taken from network interface like API interface, storage interface, cluster interface, tunnel interface. All these has been taken from here. And for internet connection, it is taking external interface from here. But we need to check that our all the nodes have same interface name. So I will check it out. Otherwise, if they will be different, so we will change variables in the multinode file. So we are having just some services of OpenStack, not all the services. So I'm just making some services enable. Like we will use SAF, so I'm making SAF enable. And the next one is I'm making Cinder enable. I'm leaving it backup. So it's already yes. I'm not making it no. The next we need to, because we don't have any HA, to I think we should make it no. So I'm making HA proxy no. Work of HA proxy in single node. Also making heat no. You can enable it, but I'm just making it no. So we can install in less time. I'm making horizon yes. I think we are almost done on these services, and now I'm making some configuration regarding SAF backend. So these are the default SAF. We don't need to change, but we need to change the PG calculation because we don't have a SAF calculator given on the SAF website. To other it the PG is per OS, total PG is per OSD between 30 to 100. So according to my calculation, 6 OSD. So I should make 2 or 64. I think both will work. And there is a formula given on the that formula. If you are having 5 OSD only, then use 32 PG By default, it will take 128 and it will make your stack in the error state. The next one is glance. I'm giving glance as my file backend no. So I'm giving Ceph as my glance backend. So you need to uncomment both these. After that, enable Cinder backend. I'm enabling Ceph as a Cinder backend because we have enabled Cinder backup service. So I'm just enabling its driver, and also I'm making Ceph as the backend of Nova. And the next one is because we are not working on bare metal. If you are using bare metal server hardware or the OS, then you can use KVM. They are using KVM because they are taking from AWS. So we are setting up the OpenStack on over AWS. So we have these are the EC2 instances. You just need to check once that your compute node have KVM or proper virtualization setup. So I have checked. I think I will again check. So we are almost done with this file. So we are done with this file, and now I think we should move forward to check our interface names first. So our interface name is ENS5 and ENS6 on compute, and on other node I think it's different. ETH0 and ETH1. We need to specify them as variables in the environment. These are different. Also in the controller you will node you will find it's ETH0 and ETH1. All these. So on the controller node, that's 172, and I think there is some problem on controller node. It's taking much time. So when it will come up, I will show you that it is 0 and it is 1, and these two nodes have 5 and ENS6. So we need to change it in the changing it in the multinode file. Also, we need to check that our IP is okay. ENS6 and ENS5 is internal. So I'm just can also read that line. When you have compute nodes and control nodes, you need to comment out API interface in the global file and specify like below. So we'll specify like below. So all the interfaces will have ETH0 for internal, and for external they will have ETH1. You can see here at the controller node, these are ETH0 and ETH1. So all confirmed. Now I'm making it in the configuration file. So I just need to copy out some variables from global YAML, because I need to copy some environment variables from here. So these are the two environment variable I need to copy. That is cluster interface. I need to specify. So I'm making a new file, and other one is external interface. So if we are making entry in multinode file, so we need to print it out from here, both two interfaces, because we will take value from there. Just these two file. I'm just copying it and making a proper line. And for cluster interface, so all the interface other than external interface are internal. You can, if you have multiple interfaces, you can specify all them differently. So I'm just using it for controller node, and for compute nodes I will change it to the ANS5 and ANS6. So here it is. The next is in the network, all the also the controller node. So I'm giving the same, and after that in the storage controller node. So we have given this IP wrong because that's 172, and this is the controller node, and also maybe this mistake in upper side. Because 172 is our controller IP, not 90. 90 is our infra node IP. So it was my silly mistake. Then I'm making it for compute node. So I'm just changing ATH0 with ENS5 and ATH1 with ENS6. So now this is our line for compute node. So I have copied in the storage lines and now in the compute lines. So we have done with the environment variables. I think it's fine now. So it looks fine. I'm just showing it. Now I'm just pulling images. Uh, First, before pulling image, I need to bootstrap and pre-check. So I'm making pre-check. I think these are the changes given here. You can also read this. After that, the deployment start, and we need to bootstrap server. So bootstrap servers will install some Python dependencies, some packages like all these requirement for the Kolla-ansible setup. All these packages to controller and computer nodes we're using. So if you have any other nodes, you can also use that. So there is some problem that's saying timeout 2012 waiting for privilege escalation. Let's try. Otherwise, I will reboot 172 because I think it's taking more time. And we also can check some if it have some problem. It doesn't have any problem, but it is slow. It's very working very slow. I don't know it's why this server is responding. Well, I'm just rebooting it. I'm just doing the same for all three nodes. Otherwise, I figure out any parameter for time. So this node is back, but after that same problem. It's taking too much time for the sudo su hyphen. I don't know why it is taking too much time for sudo su. They are fast, but the controller node is slow. It's taking very much time. So I have a plan for that. Uh, I can I can I can make a new controller node for that because I think these two are having different flavor, so they might get some problem. This node is very slow, so I'm just making a new node because we are on AWS, and so I'm making it a new node controller one fastly, and we will drop the old one. So we just need to change the IP address and it will work fine for us. I think we should give it. So I'm giving it a C5 large in the compute node flavor. So I think that would be fine. After that, I'm giving it. So I'm giving it the C. That I will copy my permanent IPs because this node is very slow. We can't work on this one. I just need to copy it out, and I will use the same IP to the next node. I'm letting it shut down, and now after deletion we can use the same IP. So I'm just quickly making it delete, and we will use it. So I'm just using external and that the 50 and 41. These are two our two. This should be internal. External, I'm just copying same IP address. The IP address should be 72. Next one is IP would be 1 for second interface. So I'm just specifying them. After that, add storage. I'm adding 2 disks of 30 GB, the SSD, and they will delete on termination. I think we need to increase the size of this disk. So the security group I'm using, and after that I'm just making it up. So we are having new node for the controller, and we don't need to change any IP address anywhere. We just need to install a dependency there. We just need to install Python there. So I will just install Python on that node. So here it is. I need to SSH on this machine. It will be available in some time, because we need to remove known host. Now we can SSH to the name. I think this will work faster. Yes, it is working very good, and I'm just installing some there. First thing, we don't have, so I just need to call the DX line. Is we need to make it. So I'm making into my IP. I just copy this here and I will paste. Now I think my interface name has been changed. It's ENS5 and ENS6. So I just need to change also that. So this is my 5, and this one is so now we have all interfaces having same name, so you can and the big lines and you can make it in just two line in the HTML. So on just rebooting this machine, it will make some configuration available for us, and so now I think all the things will work fine, and we can start. So just I need to change multinode file because our interface name has been changed in controller. So I'm making it in multinode files, and I'm just changing ETH0 with the ENS 5 and ETH1 with 6. And next one is ENS, sorry, ETH1 with ENS 6. So now we have all the changes and we can start the bootstrap. So I hope Kolla-ansible -9 multinode, and then bootstrap hyphen servers. So let's start it up because our node is up and running, but it's making problem after first reboot, taking some time for sudo su hyphen. Problem timeout 12 seconds privilege escalation. So I fight there. Continue in the next tutorial I will upload. We'll continue in the next one because maybe it can take some time. I will just fix it out and we'll continue in next.